my property, this is what you would come in through. You would go through organic matter, you would go through all that, and then you would hit, clay, and then you're going to hit bedrock, but it's mostly clay. And it's the clay that separates the soil from the bedrock water, from the groundwater. So that along with rock and pea gravel and all that other stuff. Yeah, that's the idea that came up, and I was just like, well, now it's all about watering from the bottom. Then I was like, well, this sand and silt wicks a tremendous amount of water from the top. So if I just connect the soil to this creek and let it all flow together, and as long as the water's flowing, it's wicking, and then everything else is history, man. Like when I sent you that soil, that was like a year in. So it had a year to build and just keep building. And the only thing I was doing was feeding the fish and feeding the turtles, topping off with my IMO 3 and 4 here, and that's it. That's all I was doing. And everything else was just flowing.
Your chop and drop, your fertilizing with chop and drop.
Yeah, chop and drop. Yeah.
I'm gonna just jump this thing in. I'm staged up, so
yeah, roll with it.
Keep rolling. I'm gonna
put it on the big screen.
Go with this here. Let's go with this here. So yeah, I'm gonna just maximize for a little bit and just kind of I don't know if you can hear me when I'm maximized. You should be able to.
Yeah.
But I don't know. When I do this, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
So this is 40 time magnification. Someone hit a thumbs up if you can hear me with this thing like this. I guess you can hear me, Josh. So
yeah,
cool. Okay,
cool.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, cool. All right, so this is 40 time magnification. Where if we were to zoom in 40 times, here we are. And this is what I do. So if I was treating this as a soil consulting job, which I'm not going to get crazy into that, I would come up here. This is like looking at it from a highly elevated point of view. And I would be looking for larger predatorial microbes. And I usually just scan quickly through this. This is Matt would teach you mowing the lawn. Like that microbe there, you can imagine how big it actually is if I'm 40 times zoomed in. Look at this mite that we're gonna have to dive in. You see it?
Yeah.
Can you see my mouse?
Right in the center. Right
yeah.
In the center, right in the
that's
center.
That's a beautiful shot. He's just kind of hanging there, just waiting for us. He was waiting on the live. Where'd he go? There he is. So it's upside down right now on the glass. This is 100 times magnification. We are zoomed in 100 times. Big screen doesn't show chat. Okay, are we?
Big screen. I can put the chat up if you want, like.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So if you guys can see this, bang. That's 100 time magnification. It's moving. It's alive. I have an epifluorescent lamp, and I'm gonna hit it. They don't like this. This is it's a 440 nanometer, I believe, beam of light that is gonna cause certain things to fluoresce. What up, Rick? There's Rick Zuckman, Gardens and Glass, baby, hell yeah.
What's up, man?
This thing is gonna set certain things off. This is the lamp that will recognize phosphorus and all these other minerals and nutrients. I guess like minerals. So. No, he does not like that. But look, we can see everything glowing inside. This is just whatever's glowing is some type of nutrient, right? And this is, this is the epifluorescent lamp, and this thing. At some point, I could probably kill it if I baked it with this lamp. I've seen this lamp actually kill microbes. And this guy, we're gonna go to 400, get as close as we can to him. Check that thing out.
So you think that's alive right now, or is that?
Oh, dude, it just moved. Watch this.
Did it? Okay, I didn't even see it.
Yeah, it just, it just there. It is.
Oh yeah, it did. Damn,
yeah, he's moving. He's not happy with that light, and it's probably smashed between the glass, right? Because if I were to show you guys.
Yeah, he's like he can't move because he's squished.
There's two pieces of glass. So and it's upside down right now, right? So it's stuck between the glass, and that's why it couldn't take off. But I can you see, so I'm able to start identifying things like I can't tell you why it's glowing the way it is. It could be certain things are excited by this light. Like you can see this yellow over here. Those are minerals in the organic matter.
Yep.
And dude, you're gonna have to interrupt me, bro. I'm just gonna take off with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna just go. So this is organic matter, and the different colors of organic matter represent carbon, which is gonna be black. That's gonna be your humic. I'm sorry, your carbon, your biochar. The darker brown, the dark chocolate brown, is gonna be your humic acid, and then the light brown is going to be your fulvic acid, right? So when you understand, for example, here, let's dial this in.
Hey, Mo, do you have that pencil available where you can circle things?
I don't think I have it here. Can you see my mouse?
I can see mine, but I can't see yours. No, that's why I was just.
Yeah, I don't see that option on this platform.
I see it right here beside the thing, but when I click it doesn't.
Right now, I have my mouse dead smack in the middle of the screen, and I'm moving it, so I'm not sure. We can't see any mouse. All right, we're gonna have to figure that out. So,
yeah, I'll figure it out.
Coming in to organic matter here, so I'll keep that in consideration and try to keep the things in the middle of the screen that I'm looking at. This piece of organic matter, you see the gradient: dark brown, light brown. And as I get closer in and out to it, and then if you look at the edges of this thing. There's little dots all over the edge of these clusters, these little islands, if you will, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those little edges, those are microbes gluing themselves to organic matter. This is part of a system that when a system's healthy, this is how they stick around. So if that creek is pushing water and just running across organic matter, these microbes need to stay. So it's called EPS, extracellular polymeric substances. It's glue, bro. That's a fancy word for glue. And they will colonize organic matter like that. But you can also see nutrients in organic matter, which is amazing because you see the way it's blinging, man. We've got different colors here, and these different colors are representing different things. And these different things you can see when you inoculate biochar, So these are the things I started discovering when people were like, here, come buy my biochar. It's been inoculated with, something that's been delivered from the heavens, and you can only get it here.
Yeah.
I put it under the scope. It's like wah wah wah.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like heaven to me, right? So I'm gonna back this up. That was 200 time magnification. So I'm back to 100, and we're just gonna keep. I'll take you to 400. Let's go check out some bacteria real quick. Let's put these things in perspective. This bacteria, all the little stuff jittering, barely moving, is bacteria, just hanging out. And
so this sample looks pretty stable, Mo, does it not?
Yeah, well, we just dove into it, but I'll tell you what I'm not seeing is I'm not seeing some of your predators that we normally see in every field of view. So That's another thing is that the scope right now, we're looking at a field of view, right? Mm-hmm. And when I slide over to the next block, that's another field of view. Mm-hmm. So when I say field of view, this is what I'm talking about. Obviously at this point now, what's in my field of view? If I go up, but see, it's stable with your bacteria is chilling. You got that mite chilling, but where are your predators that we normally see?
Yeah,
you're right. Where all the testate amoebas, and I'm at 400. Mm-hmm. So again, this is the crash.
Yep.
But these things go away. They're not happy, bro. They whatever happened here was well, we kind of know what happened. Oh, so to finish what I was saying, if I can. Well,
yeah,
I was gonna do this. How do I bring it back to us? I believe the cyanobacteria made everything toxic in his system. My opinion. That's how I feel about it, and I'm sticking to it. Right, I'll come back to this for a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree 100%.
And it's macro to micro, right? He was like, dude, my cyano is gone. This green algae is gone. Mm-hmm. It baked off. And so it happened at a macro level and it happened at a micro level. Cool. Yeah. So as above, so below, here we go again, right? It's I don't want to be cliche about it, but I'm really not, dude, we're seriously not seeing your predators. And this was part of why we even started this, right? We were looking at this and we were like, bro, it's so mind-blowing that that we're looking at it like this Oh, my bad. How do I go full screen again? Right? No, that's not right. Can't leave me in charge, bro. I start doing this.
I'm glad you are, because I would be all over the place. We tried.
Well,
Is there a little test day right there? Sorry.
Well, I'm trying to figure out how to get us back up
To the single view.
There we go. Well, yeah, to make this larger. How did you make it larger again?
This one? Nope. Nope.
Dry soil, Rick? No, not dry soil, because I've managed it in this little bag. I've kept the moisture level in this bag, and but that's a great point, because that will happen with dry soil. But originally we senesced. A lot of things were insisted.
Is this the view you're looking for?
No, it actually took on the whole full screen.
Yeah,
you couldn't see our background.
I don't know how that happened.
So let me try this. Sorry guys, but we got to get this figured out. We'll go here.
First episode.
I'll add this. I can't pull that out. Go here maybe, perhaps, and then go here. Oh, that.
Oh yeah, I meant to say, what's up, Dennis? APSU in the house.
Oh, there's a tested. All right.
Go in the house. Stoner dude in the house.
APSU, yeah, we've got some heads kicking in. What up? What up, everyone? So we're running the scope for those that are just jumping in. We're section 3. I don't know if you have that. You want to show what that is? Or we'll put up maybe a picture of that. So we need a solid picture of the pond. This is area 3 where the Monstera is, right?
Area 3, no, that's the Monstera is where the big plant is. I mean,
okay.
Area 3 is where the big canvas plant is.
My homie said, what up, bro? Yeah. Hey, so this little gold thing right in the middle, I'm going to try to put it right in the middle because I can't. I'm at 400. This is another thing about his system, is that the predators are small as well. That's not centered there. Does that work? You see that gold thing right in the middle there?
Yeah.
That is a testate amoeba. And then off to the right of that, you're going to see 2 spores. I'm going to have to figure out the pointing thing.
I swear I had it out earlier, and now for some reason when you go live, everything seems to not want to work.
Well, we'll get that figured out. That's the predator. Then that's a predator that is insisted. It's just bottled up. They'll lock themselves. So see, whatever you did there is what I was trying to do.
It's up in the right-hand corner, maximize or minimize, 2 little arrows.
All right. Well, that little gold looks like a piece of a kernel of corn, right?
Yep.
And then off to the right of that, you see that little those 2 brown things. Those are spores. Those are fungal spores. Usually, he has like 4 to 5 of these little yellow testate amoebas. It's a testate amoeba because it creates a test. It creates a shell. And then it's like a blob. It's an amoeba that lives inside of it. And those things collect bacteria. These are the things that eat bacteria. They'll poop them out. Bacteria is what's grabbing all the nutrients for the plant, what the plant's asking for. This is going to be here. Let's hit this and see if anything. I always go and see what's fluorescing. Look at here we start getting into minerals and, again, other things that we can't call out yet. We don't know enough about this epifluorescent lamp, but I'm able to see patterns as I go along. And then this is cellulose. You see this windy thing?
Yep, that little twirly thing right there in the middle.
That's cellulose. Yeah, that's probably one of his plants that he chopped and dropped, and you're at the final stages of decomposing, or whatever word that would be, right? Decomposure. Decomposing. So I'm talking about legit. Let's make up the word. That's where we're at. We see a lot of that in your system too. Stoner dude all day. Yep. So yeah, that's what's happening. This is all breaking down, and as I dial everything in, and we're going through levels, right? So look, right now I'm going to go a little deeper, and there's stuff down here, and as I go deeper, so there's actually in between these 2 pieces of glass, I'm going higher now. It's layers. There's levels to this, and then there's the sweet spot where things just kind of hang. Organic matter. There's probably buoyancies involved here. So what's the point of me coming in here and counting everything? Like seriously, because the next drop is gonna have it's gonna be completely different, right? Where look at this piece of organic matter. Look how much is going on here. That was probably like a leaf. If you really look at the structure of that, what is that? You know, it could have been a leaf. You can almost see and then let's light it up, right? We're gonna go. Oh, something big just went off.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, that's a
that
huge mite. This is the mite at 400.
Yeah.
That light is baking him, dude.
Yeah, he was like, fuck this. Get off.
It's for science.
Science.
Science. You know, the stoners want to see. Right? Can you imagine lighting up to this, though? I've spent hours, bro. Seriously. You know what I mean? Like, just on one. Going in and bugging out on this. Even at different levels here, he's got these.
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't seen a nematode yet. That's where normally we see nematodes. And
bro, that's just what I'm saying. This is the crash effect. Even though we did see a lot of nematodes, but then again, you know what, dude? Again, it's been sitting here for 3 weeks in a bag.
Yeah, true that.
So even though I'm managing moisture, it's in a bag. It's just, you know, just like whatever. But this guy didn't stop. And these guys, I got a video. One of these, I'm not even playing, dude. It's got like this. It's got this. I'll jump back over here real quick. Well, not that one. I got to remember which one this is. It's got like this long spear that was probably 3 or 4 times the length of its body, and it had a little hook, and it was just sitting there stuck between the pieces of glass. Decomposition, Jeremy. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Wow, I love it. Love the community. Let's get it. It has these little hooks, dude. I'm tripping out because I've never seen that. And I didn't tell you how many mites I've seen. You know, I will be able to show you mites raw, like straight up walking on mulch. Like, we're going to see that, right? Because with different levels of microscopy. But that's completely bugged out. You can see their digestive system sometimes. It's like all these crazy little, you know, whatever its shell is made of, that's chitin, right?
It was glowing green like that.
It's chitin in the system, though. That's made of a shell, right? So these things even dying in your system are putting a level of chitin in your compost. I mean, in your grows. Look at there. This is
What up,
fungi?
The homie. What's up, everybody? Head crab. Oh, the head crab. Yeah, that's head lice. That's what she said. It looked like could have been.
We're gonna go quantum realm. We're gonna go there.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna live there. I'll go back. Oh, not that. I keep doing this, Josh. My bad. Let's go.
It's up in the picture frame of the thing. Maximize. Here, I'll hit it.
Okay, yeah. So this brown, that's fungal hyphae. This is the pinnacle of soil, dude. Right? This is where when you're fungal, you're happy, right? This fungal has survived it survived the crash. I don't even know if the fungi really suffered now that I think about it, because we were seeing fungi. But this thing is it's very clear to me that it's fungal hyphae because of the color. One,
yeah,
it gets that nice, healthy, deeper brown, and then you see these little black lines that cut across it. The septa.
Yep.
Septa, I remembered that was separation. You know, separation. You know, I dove into the soil food web and didn't know jack about jack. Right? I mean, you give me a hammer in construction, and I could talk contracting all day long. But that is a nice shooting the soil. There's Matt right there too. What up, homie? Cool. We gotta get Matt. We gotta get shooting the soil on here for sure. That's right. So this survived the crash. It's there, and it's ready to keep working. You know, you can take that, add it to another system, another soil bag, and it'll continue in that system. And they're decomposing.
How long do you think that would last in that? Or, like, you know, if you took it out of its environment, will it just cyst up like everything else? Is that how it works, or does it just continue to push new growth, so to speak, like in a proper environment? Like
if there's food, it'll hang. Yeah, food and moisture, right? Food and moisture. That's you know, oxygen and food for humans. You know, hyphae, food and moisture. These things need moisture. Like I often get messages on my Instagram like, hey, Mo, what is your, if you could suggest one fertilizer, what would it be? And my answer is water, because most people don't know how to water. I'll tell you what, one day Daniel went on vacation, and I was out at the garden for like a week too with Rick, and he taught me how to water, dude. He gave me this 30-second rule that if you flood it and the water's still there, goes away after 30 seconds, you need more water.
Right.
And then we start I start digging in there, and he's like, it's dry there.
Yeah.
It's that 30-second rule that I'll never forget.
I had the same issue with those bags. I could sit there and hold the water hose on it and then go in and dig like 2 inches down, and it's dry as well. And I'm just like, where did all the water go? And it just went hydrophobic, and it hits the top and runs off the sides, run down the bottom, and floods out, and you're done. And I'm just like, what the hell? And these are my first experiences in growing. These are the things that I experienced when I first started growing. I was like, how do I fix this? Like, how in the hell? I'm watering almost every day, but I'm just seeing like, oh, that's something shot across there. But I just could not get the watering down. And then, I looked into drip systems, and I didn't want to do a drip system in a system like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when the sand and the silt came in, and then Leighton was like, I was just like, oh, this shit wicks a tremendous amount of water, more water than I could ever imagine. There's a nematode.
There's one of your nematodes kicking it, hanging out. Let's go to 400. Yeah, those ciliates shooting through. And that is like, you're gonna start seeing the longer this. So this is a 60 millimeter slide. It's bigger than most. Usually the slide is a little 22 or something. If you can see that, that's how long it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I do that because I can add 3 or 4 drops. I'm not gonna horse around with one drop and it start drying out on me. I want to jam it. I want to get deep into this thing.
Yeah.
But this nematode, they hate this light. You want to piss the nematode off? You give it to them here.
I love this. He'll go crazy.
They'll go nuts. He's a little deep, though. He's going to be hard to, or they'll hide behind organic matter. Look at that mineral, whatever that is fluorescing there, right? I'm not going to call it.
Pick almost.
Whatever it is, the gem. And then you can see here better the aggregation. You can see how, if you track this little dots that connect the islands of organic matter, those are the glues that these microbes create that start creating aggregation. Those glues start sticking to things that bind these little islands of what we're looking at, a microscopic piece of soil, right? So that's what's happening here. And as you see this just attaching to things, this is there's pockets that are gonna allow for oxygen, water, whatever needs to go through it. And these are the important things here. Nematode. Yeah, both are technically right. For sure. And that's good to see. But that is, and then there's a little spore. Again, I got to figure out the pointing device thing, because I could just start ripping. I could start now we're getting hot here. Now we're starting to see more things like a spore here, that little football looking thing.
Yeah.
It's to the lower left. I hope it's the lower left for everyone. There's a spore there, and I look for diversity in spores. This is at 400. With Josh's samples, I usually load up my 600 because all of his biology is tiny as well. That's also very interesting to me. He will, on occasion we'll see the larger testate amoebas and these larger microbes, but I still haven't figured out what this is. This thing right in the middle. It is some type of extremely symmetrical. It could be a type of diatom. It's pretty big, and it fluoresces like this. But there are things in this system that I don't know enough yet, because he's got shrimp in here. He's got turtles. We're talking about turtle skin. We're talking about all kinds of stuff that happens in this system. That I've looked at this with 15 microscopists, and we're like, yeah, I don't know. Not sure. When you've got like 15 of us, Soil Food Web and Matt Powers alumni, and none of us can call it, I'm pretty confident.
Well, Matt just said my guess too is a diatom.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. It's the symmetry of it all and it looks like it got crushed. You know, we'll I guess the chances of me finding that again, I don't know which way I went, but we'll find it again. There it is. Yeah, that would be a beautifully large diatom. This is 200. Look how big that is at 200, Matt. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah,
Right? That's big. That would make it a massive here. Go to 100. We'll see that thing at 40 even. That would be a big diatom. That would be cool.
That's 40
for
right
those
there.
that don't know what a diatom is, it is an algae that lives inside of a glass house. That you know it as diatomaceous earth. You know, it's made of glass. These microbes, and when we get to his creek, you'll see tons of them in his creek because they live in that flowing water. I'm at 400 now. And then
look at that inside. Yeah, you can see it's like glowing reddish, pinkish purple almost.
Well, that can be like chromatic aberrations from the microscope too.
Oh,
there's a lot of light and stuff bouncing, you know, in all kinds of different directions. Roly polies, yeah, that's exactly the little leg from the mite, the little antennas. You know, we see a lot. You know, the really cool thing that we'll look at too, that we were looking at the other day live, was bat guano, because in bat guano they eat bugs, right? So you're able to start identifying. You know, that's how I was able to start.
You see the skeletons in their poo,
right? Yeah. You start seeing the bug legs. You know, that who knows what.
What is that?
That could be. I mean, that could be anything though. That might not even be organic. That remember, the sad thing is that there's plastic and everything.
Oh,
that's probably plastic.
Oh, you know what that is? I bet you that's a piece of that.
It's like a tarp or something. Or that's a big piece of plastic.
That nitrate pad.
Oh, I see.
That I put in the stream to catch. They have these long strings. When they pull apart, when they get too old, they start to pull apart. And I was taking those and just setting them on top of the soil and letting the worms come up and, you know, pull through it, eat through it, eat all that crap out of it. But that might be what it is.
That's definitely a piece of plastic. And that could have come from even my end. You know what I mean? Who knows? You know, that's just plastic is everywhere. And it's unfortunate that we deal with so much plastic.
Nylon. Shootings. Matt says algae. I don't know if that's what he was talking
about. Algae? Yeah, I don't think that's algae. Algae usually for us is red. And just the consistency of this thing and then the size of this thing and the way it's fluorescing, I won't count it out. I don't count anything out, but there's no life in it. See, if it was algae, I'd be able to see some type of movement, living, anything in it. What we're seeing is behind it.
It looks like it's manufactured layers.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I would call that plastic all day in my world. I've just seen a lot of it. Tarps, you know, that's another thing. You'll see blue tarp, especially these blue tarp stuff. And then these, you know, some of these bags, when you open your bags of compost, be careful. I mean, I get it. We gotta bag these things somehow. So when you open it and you go cutting this thing open, man, I've seen some serious plastic. Some of these companies that, you know, I was telling Ken the other night on Ken's Cafe, you know, these. Well, I don't think I was telling him. I wouldn't have snitched. No, this is a treat. So this, I see all the time in your system. That is a dower larva nematode. Soil guys in the house, what up?
What's up, soil guys?
This is a dower larva nematode. I finally got identified. I've seen tons of these, and it was finally an OG from the Soil Food Web that was like, "Oh, those are nematodes that are encysted or dormant, and they always look like they're shaped like this. They have that bulge in the middle. And the most impressive thing about these is they fluoresce like something I've never seen. Look at that. That is a marvel. Like whatever it's used to make that shell to encysted itself is insane.
So that's showing up just like that piece of plastic just did.
That is showing up like that piece of plastic. It is. That's not plastic though. That's a dower larva. The only difference is that some of these things, and this is actually brighter than that plastic. And that plastic was at 400. Look what happens if I take this to 400. You know what fluoresces like that too? Is potentially phosphorus. That bright when you're at the core of it. Yeah. It's like a glow stick for sure. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah, it is like
it's impressive. You know, this lamp, you know, this epifluorescent lamp, this is new tech, right? We're we're writing new tech. Before you have to do this, it was very risky to do some of the microscopy that we do.
Yeah.
So now I'm here streaming live with you guys and able to say, look, we got this, and look at that thing.
That thing's badass looking.
And
what's the what would be the benefit? Would that wake back up?
Okay, so great question. So when I was looking at Trifecta by Leighton Morrison, he makes that, and I've said this story before, but man, this is the most impact. Leighton Morrison makes his Trifecta compost, right?
Yeah.
I had it. Rick bought it. I looked at it, loved it. Tons of diatoms, and it had a lot of encysted or nematode. When the job is done, they go encysted again. So with Leighton Morrison, that particular instance, I had some of this squid juice. Boys over at Sabbath Soil, I got my hands on that stuff because I wanted to mess with it because it has beta chitin in it, and I wanted to feed that to microbes. Everything I do is for microbes. I want to feed these microbes and see how they respond to it.
Yeah.
And I received the squid juice, and I had just made a video. It's on my YouTube channel. igroSoil on YouTube. I think I have a banner somewhere I'll make for that. But I made the video of it, and I was like, bro, check this out. There was a bunch of these, right? So then I got the squid juice, and I sprayed it here at my desk. I sprayed it, put it in the bag. I walked away for 2 days. When I came back, I was like, oh, let me take a look at this. And that beta chitin set off a bunch of bacteria and a bunch of actinobacteria and Basidiomycota, which is fungi.
Okay.
And they're made of beta chitin, right? And for those that don't know what beta chitin is, most people know what chitin is.
Yep.
It's what shells and things are made of that you use for fighting off bugs. Beta chitin is, the way I explain it, it's like giving a baby an apple versus giving a baby applesauce. Beta chitin is applesauce, and your microbes can devour it and devour it quickly. So because this fungi started going nuts, eating all this, then these nematodes woke up. So all of a sudden, when I was seeing a bunch of dower larvae, when I went back in there, I saw all this fungi and a bunch of nematodes. So it sets off the succession of soil.
Got you.
Right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
makes perfect
I learned, and I started learning between that and learning over at the garden when, Rick has his thing where he's like, Mo, just put it in there. We're gonna. Oh, Rick, what do you think? Oh, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. We get it on the scope, and I'm like, oh, I just found out. It woke all the microbes up again. So I started rethinking how I look at soil, how I look at castings. Look, this thing here catches my attention.
So basically, what you're saying is that no matter how bad it is, it can be repaired and it can come back to life.
Well, that's the glory of it, bro. Is that we're 60 years from now, we're not gonna have any topsoil unless we fix it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And if you go look at my Our Future thing, I took this sand in 7 days. I created a JMS. I'm trying to do this where people can do this right out of their pockets, bro. Cheap. 3 potatoes, 5 potatoes, some water, some good soil. I mean, some good compost. Good compost is going to be the key here, right? Yeah. This is where you need the good compost in order to have the life. Otherwise, you don't have it. Mm-hmm. And it's not hard. You can always find it in this community. But good compost goes into that 30, 40 gallons. And I have that video up on our soil. I think it's on Matt's. It's on my YouTube channel as well. 3 days later, I have a bucket of 40 gallons worth of microbes that can be diluted by 50. So this thing in the middle here that looks like an arrow, I can't point it out, but that's got my attention. I don't know what that is. I see that here as well. And so we'll find out, dude. You see what I'm talking about? Yeah. That thing, it looks like a wishbone or something.
Yeah, it's is that organic matter you're talking about that's sitting on top of it, kind of? Is that? Or
there's soil on top of it, right? Organic matter.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing is that when you look at the color of organic matter, if I'm explaining to you guys, carbon, humic, and fulvic, right? Carbon, humic, and fulvic, different colors, black, dark brown, and fulvic is light brown. After a while, I can start seeing this gradient. I can read pH. You can tell a pH of something by the colors that you're looking at, because carbon is usually a higher pH. Humic acid is usually higher pH. They go into solution at higher pHs. Like, go learn pH, understand pH. pH is a big deal. Fulvic acids, they'll get your pH down, right? Then they start chelating things. I'm not going to even get into that. But
pH just means possible hydrogen. Is that
power hydrogen and potential hydrogen, right? So the more hydrogen, the more hydrogen protons in the water, the lower your pH is, the more acidic you're getting, right? The more energy in there, the more chelation opportunity, the more everything. Yeah. Everything starts opening up, right? And then you get too far down, and then you start becoming an acid. You start killing things. There's this happy, there's this happy medium, and this 7 might be it, but you go a little bit lower to get certain things, other things chelated and breaking those, the plants do this, bro. When a plant needs, again, calcium, it'll release acid at the root tip, and it'll release the right level of acid required to melt down that plastic. I mean, that calcium. Just nuts, right? It's like, okay, this is going to require an acid that's a 2.5 pH. So that plant will release that level of acid into the soil to start breaking those things out, or send the microbes, because bacteria, all these little dots that we're looking at in the background, they're the miners. They're the ones that go after everything. And they're like, oh, cool, you want boron? All right, let me go get boron.
So right? that just moved a little bit. Top right corner, big, looks like a shrimp almost curled up.
Yeah.
It just moved a little bit.
If I had to classify that, I would have classified that as what's called an arcella. An arcella is an amoeba that makes its own shell. And if you were to finish that loop, you would have a hole in the middle, which would look kind of like a donut. Mm-hmm. And I could tell by the structure of the shell. I could tell just.
So what you're saying is that's broke. It should be.
That's shattered. That could have broken when I put it in here, when I shook it, when I poked it around, and little by little, you're going to start noticing more and more zoomers, because as the water sits as the soil sits in solution.
That when I see something fly by like that, it amazes me, because it's almost alien like. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like what they're talking about flying around in the sky, like it can just stop and start so fast, like instantaneously. And it's like, how the hell is it doing that? Like it's so tiny, and yet it's just like almost defying gravity in the water. It just can stop and start and move so fast. Like I said, it's like an alien.
Yep.
It's crazy.
That's a broken testate amoeba. Test shell.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, let me see if I can center it better.
I'm going to increase the screen size.
Yeah, do it. So that's another busted up testate amoeba, right? But there's another predator. And by the way, this is not a bad sample at all for most people. If this is what your soil looks like, with this amount of predators, you're cruising. You're doing great. It's the expectation. Because I'm used to shook it hard. Yeah, so guy, you should see his technique. He's like bang, 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 Hulk smashing his samples. Love you, bro. Love you, dog. Hey. That was prestige in the house. Hell yeah, Derek. Dude. So rest in peace, testate, right? But then what happens? It becomes carbon. That shell becomes carbon. The nutrients inside of it become available.
Yeah.
So it doesn't stop. You see this darker black patch? That's more carbon than humic, right?
Yeah.
So let's light that up and see what's holding there. This is energy. This is, positive charge versus negative charge. These, cation, just paramagnetism, magnetism. All this stuff is happening at extremely high level in this system. And this is the crash, right? Like,
this is the crash, yeah.
This is the crash. Like, understand that we've got man hours put into observing this thing. And then here I can see, we're getting into murkier, better waters here. I can see a testate amoeba. I see 2 of them. I can't point at them, but, these little dots, these little oval-shaped shell-looking things. And there goes the ciliate, right?
Yeah.
This ciliate woke up. Why? Why did that wake up? That woke up because I put this test tube, I put water in it.
And now it can move. And now it can move around.
So it's like, cool. It knows there's water. There's signaling happening here. And the moisture alone is triggering this encysted microbe, this microbe that is basically in a shell, to say, oh, cool, there's enough moisture for me to wake up and do my thing. That's just fact. There's another test
right there in the comments. Jose says the crash will eventually is food for everything. You know, whatever is dead is going to eventually get eaten.
That's a great point.
As long as we have the life there to come back to eat it.
and you know what? If the life is not there, that is catastrophic, right? Like that is my sand out here in Florida where we don't have life. You know, there's, you can just tell. It's just dead. It's dry. And this is why you got to cover it. It's just like, and you got to cover these microbes. You got to protect your soil. You know, you got to cover it from the sun. Right? The sun is doing damage. It's called the Fenton reaction. You learned this in Matt's classes, bro. He's equipped us with knowledge, bro. It's like the sun's beating on your soil, so you're losing your nitrogen and your carbon. It's gassing off, and you end up with dust. But look at this testate amoeba in the middle. That's a big testate amoeba. I mean, we're at 400, but in your system, you'll recognize that that's a big testate amoeba.
That's what my wife said.
Yeah. We'll leave that. In fact, so
I got
there. Yeah. I'll let you speak there. Go ahead, bro. You know.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, I'm fucking around, dude. Diversity now, right? Also, when I'm consulting and when I'm looking at soil, I'm looking for diversity in testates. This is not your average. Most people, I've seen consultations where they just kind of count everything. And you've got 10 testates, and you've got this, and you got that, and you got blah. And it's like, well, wait a minute. How many testates? What kind of testates? Where? How many variety of testates? How many nematodes? Do you have, do you have this type of nematode? You've got 4 or 5 nematodes that I could rip right now off the top. Do you have them, right? And if you do, great. Why do you have more than, if you've got a lot of fungus, guess what? You got fungal nematodes. These nematodes, they shed like snakes. This will blow you away. They shed like snakes. And bro, depending on the situation and the environment, they will change their mouth part. So if there's a really high fungal content in that soil, that nematode will shed and become a fungal eater. If there's a gang of nematodes in there, it'll shed off and become a nematode eater.
Wow.
How's that for communication? That's intense.
That's crazy. That's impressive. It's like changing my teeth out, It's like,
it's like, yeah, I'm gonna tear that apart, right? That's exactly what's happening. And so guess what? When you have no life in your soil and your soil's dying, that nematode's going to say, well, there's roots.
Yeah.
Let me shed.
Let's shed and eat the roots.
And let me tear up some roots. Mm-hmm. And this is why, these roots.
That's kind of like this last resort for them, right? Is that would that be like?
If there's abundance of that, I don't know exactly. Yeah. I wouldn't be able to answer that with conviction, but I would say, yeah, dude, there's nothing here other than roots. Yeah. Because I think that this balance in soil, it wants to go to the positive, right? There's this equilibrium in life, man. And if it can go do the right thing, it's going to do the right thing. If it's going to head towards chaos and entropy, then so be it. We're going to ride that until. So every time I've had someone, I've fixed a couple things. So dumping a bunch of predatorial nematodes may not be the best idea. That's my thought, Josh. Like, is that Kennedy? Yeah, and it's not the answer. I've solved that problem for people by dumping a bunch of extractions from good compost, along with nutrients. Send in the firepower. Send in there's a fuck around and find out that's happening in soil with microbes. And if you don't believe me, go do the work in the efficient microorganisms, for example, where you have bacillus, you have purple non-sulfur, and we can get into all of this. When these microbes are in the presence of E. coli, as an example, E. coli we know can be pathogenic. Only about 12 of them out of 2,000. But in that consortium, they're kind of like hanging out on the street corner, and here comes E. coli. They're going to start creating immunities towards that E. coli. They're going to be like, cool, we'll tear this thing up if it wants to get stupid, but we're also going to reinforce ourselves now through communication without getting all sciencey.
Yeah.
They understand that, you know what, you're not with us right now. You're not one of us. So you got two options: fuck around and find out, or start acting right.
Assimilate or die. Pretty
right,
much.
dude. So when your soil is dialed in, and you don't even have to be dialed in, just have life in there. Yeah. Have options in there where these microbes are gonna want to thrive and survive. Another thing is this whole anaerobic and aerobic thing. I get it, I respect it, and I love the work. But when I go outside after a hurricane, pull some water, and I see a bunch of ciliates, no, dude, those ciliates are there because there's a lot of water, but because there's still a lot of presence of oxygen. Now, they will thrive in less oxygenated condition, but it doesn't mean off rip that it's anaerobic. Yeah, it's going to go there if that water doesn't subside and if this emergency crew of microbes don't go in there and figure this thing out. My opinions, my research, my work, dude, like, take that as you will. And I would love to sit with anyone who wants to argue that, because I love opinions, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, let's tell me how I'm wrong that after a hurricane, it just rained, which means there's oxygen there. I mean, it just rained. There's oxygen. Now tell me it was 10 days later, and I would say, okay, cool, right? So it's a battlefield, bro. Yeah.
I see shooting the soil over there. I see you. That's awesome.
Yep. That's exactly right, dude. So understanding that, start there, right? It's like, let's get the life in the soil, because the life is what's going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and then, we start bringing in the nutrients, and we start bringing in the minerals, and we start bringing on all the other stuff that we're going to need. Feed your microbes. I call it packing them a lunch. Whenever I send in my extractions, I'll send nutrients. The other day I made a video. We're at the garden. We're taking worm castings into a system, and guess what? We're bringing in some of the build the soil stuff that we have. The minerals. We're in Florida. We suffer a lack of minerals here in these sands. So, you know, again, Rick, let's get some minerals in there. Let's get some food in there. Let's get some dehydrated fruit in there. I mean, it's all minerals at the end of the day. However you can get that.
Yeah, that was my biggest thing when I first started this. I was like, people keep talking about building soil, building compost, but where do you start? Like, what do you start with? You know what I mean? That was my biggest thing. I was like, and I kept hearing a lot of people with wheat bran and barley. Like, Clackamas Coot was big on barley, like putting barley down. And he would explain about the chitinase in it and all this others. And I was like, okay, barley, wheat bran, oats, meals, you know, all these things are in my head. I was like, all these things are leading back to food.
Right.
Let's feed the soil food. You know,
look at this Death Star.
That's a Death Star.
That's that 400. That is an encysted microorganism. That thing is bottled up and dormant right now. You can see a double cell wall. I'm at 400. Let's try to light that up. You see that opaque look to it? Yeah. These are my experiences with this epifluorescent lamp. That means that might be alive or was alive. And in this case, I can see the biology inside of it. But you can see the double-celled wall there. That is an encysted amoeba. That is not awake right now for whatever reason. If we sat in solution long enough, that probably will wake up, or maybe it's too much water, right? Feed the microbes all day long. Like,
so in order to get him uncysted, you would basically, he just needs the right conditions, correct? Just waiting.
So I just learned that the right word for that is excisted, like exit. And yes, the conditions need to be right, whether it needs to be a little drier, because right now we're in this tube it's underwater. Well, it's in a glass underwater. Yeah. Uh-huh. But it's there nonetheless. So if this is in my soil, and what's moving right now is the slide is drying. So
okay, I was gonna say, something's pushing it.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that can tell by the way it's moving. That you see, there's the corner, there's the edge of the slide.
Okay.
And that's a bubble, right? That's a bubble collapsing on the slide. And mind you, we've only been through maybe 10 field of view here in your sample. I got about 100 at least on this slide. So we're finding all this life even after a crash, but it's not as happy as it normally is. And the zoomers in the background, look how deep they are. He's all the way at the top, hanging out at the top.
Zooming around.
That's like that organic matter is a reef, right? You can see your labs, you can see your inputs. The things that you buy, we can put under the scope and look at, and we'll look at all that, man. You know, this is something that this is what I do. This is what I love doing. I love to look at things and know it, be able to identify it, and then understand it and understand why they do what they do. I've got crazy videos of microbes doing their thing. And
yeah, it's fascinating. I mean, it's a whole nother world. It's like looking at a telescope into the universe.
yeah,
Really, I mean, except it's closer. we can actually mess with this stuff.
I'm gonna load up one more slide before we because I've been burning for an hour. We've been an hour and 15. Let me load up one more thing here that I want to take a look at. And this is going to be what I want to look at is I took the same sample about an hour and a half before we started, and I put it underwater.
Okay, so it's been sitting underwater for a little.
It's been sitting out for an hour and a half. I mean, either that or I could put something that's been underwater for a week, and that's what we were looking at earlier in the lobby with the paramecium and and show what chaos looks like. Show what a true system that is suffering from water. And that was another thing. I started letting things go anaerobic because I was like, well, let's find out what that looks like.
Yeah, we got to see what it looks like.
Let's find out why, right? Let me be able to compare. And the differences in the smell, right? These microbes, as they're, they use oxygen. So oxygen would be like the 100 octane energy, right? They're burning at full capacity versus some cheaper gas, some cheaper fuel because they don't have oxygen. So my idea is that they're eating organic matter and they're leaving waste behind. That's why we get these smells, the sulfur and all these other unpleasant things, right? That end up swamp acid that ends up bad for your roots and bad for your plants because they don't like it. So we'll actually I'll throw on a little chaos. How about that?
Throw on some chaos. Let's look at some chaos.
This has been on my desk for like a week. I don't even remember the original sample, to be honest with you. But it's got a little funk to it.
That'll be pretty.
And this is where. So, am I against these microbes? I would put anaerobic microbes in my soil all day long. Oh, I have it. I've had it from the beginning. He asked. So I guess you can actually share these questions, right? Yes, I do have a dark field condenser. We're going to go into all of that. I've got dark field condensers. I've got some techniques that I'm going to share here that are mind blowing with the i4, and this is the idea is just do what I do, but we'll do it on the live as well. I share a lot of it on my YouTube channel, and I'm excited to share it with people. This is just
inquiring minds want to know, Mo.
Yeah, dude. It's important to know, right? And I'm a visual man. I got to see it. My students need to see it. When my students get to see this, they just get it. You know what I mean? And when they get it, bro, it makes me happy because they respect it. So, they'll be, hey, I had a mom. I tell the story, bro. I had a mom come to me and ask me what and who I am and what I'm doing because she was gardening with her daughter like usual. And the daughter told her mom that they need to be careful because the microbes, it can't harm the microbes. Mission accomplished, bro. That's a mission accomplished for me. So here's the chaos. As we start getting into microbes that like to swim, I mean, we're partying here, right?
We are partying.
A whole different level. This is paramecium.
Now, see, when I first started this and I saw this, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to see. Look at all that light. Look at everything moving. And then you're telling me, no, this is bad. And I was like, what? This is bad? Look at all that life. Look at all that moving around and stuff. And I was like, yeah, but they're in chaos right now. I was like, oh.
Absolutely, bro. If your soil smells like rotten egg,
something's wrong.
You're anaerobic. This smells like rotten egg. And
for sure,
to me, if I bring you guys into my mind and what I've witnessed and observed, this is an emergency crew. These guys right now just got hit with a blast of oxygen. Again, my work, my opinion, and it only makes sense. The simple action of me taking them and bringing them into this pipette, I just introduced oxygen into that system. Yeah. And then moving it to the glass, I just introduced more oxygen into that system. These microbes now are on full blast, taking advantage of the oxygen because in a system with oxygen, they are creating 28 ATP, adenosine triphosphate, right? Energy, ATP. They're making energy, the final byproduct of energy. In an anaerobic system, they can only make 2 per sugar molecule, per nutrient molecule. So right now, they are on full blast. Get it while you can. We've got oxygen. Let me just go on overdrive.
So like what Matt says, they're fixing things right now. That's accurate?
They're doing what they do, and they're cycling nutrients. So
Right.
if you had roots in the ground like we do when we get these hurricanes, and the water floods, they're gonna keep moving soon, cycling nutrients. Right now, they're burning things, right? So in a sense, yes, they are fixing because they're creating heat, they're creating energy. Things are vaporizing, and that water starts to subside, and they're all part of that. There's a level of microorganisms where you can weigh it out. I have to do with being in the ocean. I'd have to pull that up to even talk on that. But understanding that and knowing that, dude, I go into this with that mentality that they're an emergency crew, and if shit gets really bad, you ain't fixing it. But this was a really nice system because you can see the tested amoeba. How do you do that large thing again? I can't believe I can't figure that out.
Go on the
I see it. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Damn, I learned something. So I can go. This is 100. Let's go to 400 real quick, and I'll show you what I'm seeing. You're looking at things flying by. Where's that testate amoeba? There's a couple testate amoebas. There's one there. You can see that.
Yep.
I can't identify that shape, but there's another one there. So this was probably one of my composts that I just let sit. Oh, you know what? That was probably my potting mix. Yeah, that was my potting mix that I did a video on. But
what's going on? It's all about the biology, Ken or Silly Lily. Oh, y'all.
It's all about the biology. What up? What up?
Come on.
Good to see you on.
Check out all the little squigglies, little critters.
Yeah, for sure. So these paramecium are really dope. I'll do this because it's not. I mean, I find them just not as often as I'd like to. You can grow these. They grow these for fish aquariums. Apparently, fish. I know Kennedy's in here, Josh. I think they feed paramecium to fish tanks, right, or something like that, because they're large enough. But one thing I love about paramecium, and I'm going to drop these. So I'll share this with the crew. And I'm all about saving money and doing this thing on a budget, right? These are polarized films.
Okay.
Buy them for like $10 on Amazon.
Yeah.
This is what they use, your 3D glasses, your sunglasses, right?
Yeah.
I paid $10 for these. Polarization is a form of microscopy that will show you, depending on how you line them up. I put one over my light, and we'll have a session on this. I'm going to dial this in. So now these polarized lenses are sitting on my microscope, and now I'm going to turn it until it dials into the minerals that are in here.
Okay.
Every minerals have different colors, and there's a sweet spot. It's a small window where I can black this thing out, and all of a sudden we start looking like space, right?
Yeah, it looks like space now.
But the beauty of the paramecium is that they blend. You can see the minerals that they're taking up.
Everything that's shining is mineral.
Everything that's shining are minerals. But look at this paramecium here. Let's see if we can. These guys haul ass too, so we'll be. I'm gonna see if I can find some just kind of hanging out in the corner there. There you go.
He gone.
Yeah, he's gone. They're gonna be somewhere. But everything in here that's shining is a mineral of some sort, and they're all different colors, right? They have books, and this would be a whole other type of class of microscopy that I maybe not I'm immediately interested in, but look at this piece of organic matter, just because everything for me is time. Look at that thing. That is a microbe, a living microorganism there. You see it moving.
Which one now? What am I looking at here?
We're looking at a round-shaped thing that's got movement inside of it. Yeah, in the center it's glowing, right?
Uh-huh.
It might be an egg. I mean, whatever it is that's happening there, I just don't know. It drives me crazy that I don't know that. But, the glory here, dude, and again, I'll go to my students, is that we only know 1% or less of microbes in soil. So they get excited at the fact that this is potentially a new discovery every time. It's like whatever it takes to teach these kids that this is something that we're discovering potentially, and they start to name things, and they give them these crazy kooky names, which is all good with me. It's like, okay, his name is Roger.
And, yeah, exactly. Start naming little.
But look at this glorious paramecium, dude. He's just loaded with minerals, and I saw a lot of this stuff in the dynamic composting.
When you see these guys moving like that, and then let's say he slows, do they slow down ever? Like when they
Oh,
get full, or do they just blow up? Do they shit? Do they have a poop loop going on there, or what is
oh,
that?
yeah, all of the above. They poop,
Oh,
they shit, they keep moving, they don't stop. Like, I don't know if microbes sleep. That's a great question because no one's really. I haven't officially found an answer. There might be an answer for it, but I've never seen a microbe just sleeping. There would be a reason why it insists, and we don't know, or why it'll slow down. Maybe that it starts becoming too much of a dry condition for them, right?
Okay.
Too oxygenated. But under a slide, you won't be able to tell that it's too dry because there's
It's
water,
always wet.
right?
Yeah.
Now you can lose oxygen, but look at this guy. He's just got his beak tagged into, and they've got these hairs. They're cilia. It's the same hairs that are in our nose, bro. Like these little cilia that catch. They move. He's got thousands and thousands of hairs around their body.
And that's how they're moving. That's how they
Yeah.
move.
So I have to take this off because I can't get too close. Oh, I just scattered them like roaches. If I turn the epifluorescent light on, they'll leave. They'll dip. But look, you can kind of see the energy that they're pushing with that hair, with those hairs. You see that?
Yeah, I do see the hairs now.
Those are the cilia. Those are the little hairs, and that's how they're able to move so fast and create these vortices. We're going to see a lot of microbes here. That's one thing that we have the ability to do here in Florida is harvest microbes between gardens and gardens. Look at that. Look at this guy. Is that a fungal network? I can't tell. I don't see septa there. I don't see the color that I'd be looking for, but again, it's been in a bottle for days. Look at this guy. This guy, let's see if I can dial in on him. He's splitting. You see he's got like a bulge on him. He's in and out. It's very hard to keep up with him. He's up and down, in and out. But it's got a what looks like a deformity. That's probably splitting. Some of these, look at this guy. He's a mini bug. It's a little bug, dude.
What is that?
No, it is a arthropod. It's a bug. It's a microscopic bug. It's a decomposer. And
is this still my sample, or is this your?
No, this was probably. I think this was my my soil blend that I left on the desk for a week. But we're gonna leave the one we just did. We're gonna leave it for next time, and we'll put it up, and you'll see that it does this. And if I really want to set it off, I'll put a drop of nutrient into it, whatever type of nutrient I want.
Now, when you say nutrient, you put like a blackstrap molasses or something like that?
Blackstrap molasses triggers microbes, but more bacteria. I'm thinking healthier stuff to get these larger microbes going. Look at this thing.
What would you put in there to feed them?
Bro, what would you eat that's healthy? You know what I'm saying? Oatmeal. I would blend it up, throw a dusting of that in there. I'll pulverize and maybe I like putting dry things in there, but I could stuff a leaf in there. Then that leaf's eventually going to start leaching nutrient. Yeah, for sure. They eat everything, right? They don't mess around, dude. They just tear things up. But
so basically, leaf matter, organic matter.
That was alive. Anything that was alive. If you got a dead cow, they're going to eat it. A human body, they're going to eat it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Josh. Yeah, we love chaos.
Chaos slide.
Josh has been through many sessions with me, but look at these guys. They're feeding off bacteria, dude. They're moving and cycling and.
Cheers, silly Lily. How are you?
And then if like roaches, watch this. Whoop, gone. Yeah, you turn on the lights. It completely disorients them. Except for this guy. This guy's like, I ain't going anywhere. This guy's probably baked. He didn't even move, or maybe he went under that piece of organic matter.
My dog's you're crazy.
Here you can see all the little holes and all these little spots and gaps where water flows through and oxygen flows through. Very important. So even though it's been underwater for a couple of days, and this is what I want to see. Listen, I want this level of life in my compost. Because if it rains in the soil, I want nutrient cyclers waking up. Tell me why it's bad that if these things right now are feeding, and making things available for your plant, is it bad to flood your plant? Somebody earlier put flood and drain. Absolutely. Wake these guys up. Let them do some work as that thing dries back. I mean, that's how it works here in Florida. We got monsoon today. I was telling Josh earlier, I'm worried we got such a big storm coming in that, if something happens, it's probably because I got bumped.
Yeah.
Right? So guess what? All of my trees right now are heavily saturated. My mulch is heavily saturated. I guarantee you if I went out there right now, grabbed a handful of that mulch, we're going to see not this much, not this crazy, but we're absolutely going to see it because of the level of moisture. In fact, look at these guys just kind of photobombing it. That's what I'm talking about.
Thanks, Silly Lily. Yeah, we're going to be doing this every Thursday at 6 o'clock until we find a better time, maybe. But right now, Thursdays at 6 Eastern time, we're going to be doing this live, hopefully for a long time. But we'll be here at 6.
Hopefully, people get interested and start scoping their stuff. I mean, what better way to do it? What better way to check, especially when we could come in here and be like, okay, this is what your microorganisms that you bought are supposed to look like, right?
Yep.
This is, look at that, dude.
We can actually verify what's in the bottle now.
Right. We can look at it. I can look at it and say yay or nay. From what I experienced and I know. And your castings, right? What are you buying for? If your neighbor probably has a good set of castings that you can pick up locally. These things don't like good magnification. And 100 with this film is the best you're going to get. Look how clean that is. And then the more I turn it, the darker that gets. It becomes more space-like.
I'll tell you, look at the inside. What'd you call those again? I keep forgetting.
These are paramecium.
Paramecium. Look at the glitter almost inside of them.
Yeah. Things are moving.
Wow.
These things will also you'll never know what you'll find. Absolutely. These things will also bring algae in. They'll bring chlorella. Oh, geez, sorry, man. I grow that stuff. They'll bring chlorella in and they'll house chlorella. And chlorella is like a snack in soil. It's algae. It's high in vitamins. It's high in all kinds of stuff. So they have they get a symbiotic relationship with this photosynthetic algae, where basically you live inside of me, I protect you from the world out there, and you fix nitrogen and you feed me nitrogen. And that's an amazing relationship, and to see that.
Yeah.
And again, we're looking at like a more of a terrestrial here underwater. When we start getting into ponds like his stuff, we'll start seeing some real cool, stable stuff. But yeah, that's just, I mean, dude, yeah,
Yeah, seeing that mineral inside of that is crazy. It's wild looking, just being able to see it.
Just takes you away, yeah.
When that comes out, that's plant available, correct? That's when they release that into the soil. That is what the plants are eventually working on. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, you got to check it out, bro. Get in there, Stoner, dude. Get in there and just at least get a glimpse of what's happening, and that as you understand what's happening, and you don't need to start. I will agree with Matt. So when I got into this, this thing, when he made a very strong point, you want a camera. Now, it may not have to be this 4K high resolution camera, but you want a camera so you're not sticking your eyes in this thing that is giving you a headache, and it becomes frustrating trying to dial your eyeballs in, right?
Yeah.
If you're able to just push it to your laptop. Love chlorella. Chlorella is I use it in everything. And once you learn to grow that, bro, you're growing endless amounts of it. Well, here in Florida, right? I get that some of you all are out there in some crazier weather, but bring it in. I grow it back here. Spirulina, purple non-sulfur bacteria is I mean, I can't speak enough on that, but these are the things I grow. I kind of call it the primal trinity. These things are what created oxygen on our planet, and we're lucky to have them, and that's just everything green. It's like everything green on this planet came from like cyanobacteria and algae. It's like, okay, cool. And then what the plants did was they just figured it out and they just made it better, right? They're just like, okay, we're going to photosynthesize and we're going to take this sunlight and we're going to do everything with it, and we're going to create life. Everything we look at is made by plants. It's nuts. That's for sure, Prestige.
When you really understand that and really can put it in, like put the pieces of the puzzle together and see it for yourself, it's like, wow. like you start seeing the vein. I look down at the veins in my arms, and I look at the veins in the leaves, and I'm like, I am this leaf. You know, I am this plant. You know what I mean? Like literally.
Yeah, you're here because of it. And when you leave, the microbes are going to tear your ass apart, and they're going to feed you right back to the plant.
That's exactly what we're looking at right now. Will eventually be eating you.
Yep. You know, that's why I trip out. You know, maybe my mom trips. Before I got into soil, I was in the hospital. I was being destroyed by the flesh-eating bacteria.
Yeah. And now here you are playing with it.
And this shit's growing in behind me, right? It's like,
well, yeah, you got it all covered.
I'm growing beneficials. You know, it's like family's like, "Are you okay, dude?" Yeah, I'm okay. You know, it's just it'll take you there, man. You know, it's like you're gonna take me out. You know, these microscopic things. They're like, look at them. No, these are not the bacteria. It's even the smaller ones that we're. But look at these vortexes. And by the way, like bacteria. This is another thing that's impressive to me. The bacteria, when they colonize, it's when they start shit. This is when they become a problem, right? If they're bad, they're gonna come together and they're gonna whoop you. Now, one bacterium is not gonna take you out. A colony of them will. Well, if you look at what's happening here, the cilia alone would be dissipating this bacteria, right? It's spreading it out. It's breaking up this party. They're like cops that showed up to ruin your party because we're all wasted, dude. I'm sorry, but this is where I go to because this is where I'm from. That's exactly what happens here, you know, and all that bacteria gets moved around. and a system that doesn't have predators, what's doing that? What's keeping them honest?
Nothing.
Yeah, compost me when I die, dude. Absolutely. Either that or throw my ass in the ocean. I'm going to feed a lot of something, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I've already told my wives, if I go first, put me in a knapsack and bury me down by the oak tree. Like I'll just become the oak tree.
How quantum do you want to go with it, right? Your DNA, that tree is taking up your DNA. These microbes are taking up your DNA.
That's right.
I mean, you know, it depends on what you believe in, right?
Yep.
It depends on what you believe in, how you believe things. I always tell everyone I was borderline atheist before all of this, man. And I wasn't an atheist, but I didn't want to believe in anything. Now, there's no question about something made all this, bro. You know what I mean? Whatever that is to you, right. The facts are the facts. These things, we're here because of them. And they will be here well after we are gone. And that's just it. There's more microbes in 1 teaspoon of soil than there are people on this earth.
Hit him with the HGT, Mo.
No, he's talking about scattering them out.
Let's hit
him with the. Let's go roach them out.
Like,
lights up.
Look at him.
Look at him. And it was just like mowing through. Like, it's for science, right? At this point, it's for entertainment.
It's for entertainment purposes only.
And this is 3 drops out of this whole. So can you imagine? This will help you understand that when you read these bottles and your dilution rates are like 1 to 500, you might want to respect that until you start seeing what the plant and soil is telling you in return. Because I'm like 1 to 500. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
and then
that was my problem. I was like, Leighton taught me real quick. I was driving down the road listening to a podcast, and he was like, "Just don't be a moron. Like, don't."
Yeah. I learned that from Leighton. Yeah.
And I talked to Leighton one time. I finally got to talk to him, and I was like, Leighton. When I heard that, I was like, "Damn it, I'm a moron."
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I'm always putting more and more on, and it just turns out that that's not the best thing.
Yeah, this is definitely a working crew. You should see we'll end up finding trichomes. Trichomes look sick under epifluorescent. They fluoresce like this. I mean, trichomes go hard. You know, there's so much to look at too, man. We've got different levels of microscopy here. Look at this. That's a piece of a root or a plant.
That looks like it's blocked. It's building blocked.
That looks like a piece of a root.
That's cool. We can see what is that? That's basically the building blocks of life right there, right?
Hit me with some microbes before you bury me. That's Kennedy for sure. What up, homie?
Yeah, they got caskets made out of fungi and mushrooms. Oh yeah, just put me in a casket of a mushroom casket, bury me.
Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful shot. You know, this is art to me too. You know, I'm an artist by my background is I've always been into art, so I've been able to translate that to microscopy, and
Well, look
some
how
of
it's
these.
stacked, like me stacking rocks. Look how it's stacked. It's like Lego.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I mean, for those who watch him build this thing, tell me that ain't impressive. He's like, all right, I'm going to put this way. He could tell you every rock is there with intention. You know, as I watched him building this, look, that's like carbonous too. Look at it.
Oh,
You know what? Let me see if I could do this. Let's see how well this above light. Let's see if we can get a clean shot of that. I'm gonna put a light over the top of it. Oh no, I'm not. We'll deal with that next time. It's not even plugged in. I won't put
where do you
guys
get
for
the
that.
tools to get a website? This is on what is this? Where are we on?
Streams, StreamYard,
StreamYard, yeah.
something like that. StreamYard. Look at that thing. Like, bro, this, these are the crazy looking.
Now that we saw that earlier and just but one little strain of it.
Yeah, that's a piece of a plant, right? This is, I've got roots, I've got plants, I've got, God knows what I bring from Gardens and Glass.
Yeah.
We're out there composting fish. I mean, we're after every natural input we can, and it translates to the biology. A lot of times, hey, bro, you get your compost this way and that way. Look at this is a microbe this is very small. Watch this. This is a Vorticella, a small one though. He's on a tether on a little rope. We're gonna see a lot more of this.
Oh, I see it down in the middle, right in the middle.
See it? I'm gonna come back in even closer here.
Yeah, look at the little tail.
He's on a little, and he's not eating right now. It's got a crown, and it'll open its mouth all the way, and it'll start using its little cilia, little hairs to start sucking things in and creating a vortex. But trust me, we're gonna see a lot of these. They live in my backyard. But this is a tiny one. I'm at 400. And it sits in the paratrick family, which, maybe we'll start getting to identification. And it's got that little tail that's a little whip, and it like a balloon. It'll go out, and it'll anchor itself to organic matter. And then behind it, you've got...
That's a paramecium? Is that what that is?
That might be a small paramecium. I wouldn't personally classify that one as such because, look at this thing. What is that? Right, that just...
You want full screen? Like yeah, I'll show you full screen. That
looks like he just dug down. He just dug away. But there's the paramecium again. I mean the Vorticella. He's got a little squiggly tail.
Yeah, I see it.
And the behavior on that, I'm tripping out on. That's not normal behavior. It might be aware of this potential paramecium behind it. I say potential because there are different. I use different identification factors, and I don't see it on this one, unless it's because it's small. But see that big one that just ripped through everything? This might be a ciliate of some sort that I can't ID. Paramecium.
You saw that little black line just go flashing by real quick?
Oh yeah, that was deep in the background. That was a paramecium. So they're move.
Yeah. They're like bulls in a china shop.
They don't care. And if we go to 40, like look at them from 40, we're 40 times zoom here, right? They're just hanging out everywhere. This is
that thing there. It's a water bubble. Is that like a little?
That's a bubble. Yeah, that's an air bubble, an air pocket. So yeah, and that happens because I was generous with the organic matter that I put on here, so it makes the slide a little chunky, and so we don't get as clear of a shot. I think we're good enough, but if we're mowing this, look at them. They're like animals just eating. You see the fold on that paramecium there? This is how you start really identifying. They got that fold. You see that crease?
Where no,
it's got like a crease to it.
Oh, just about. Yeah. Okay.
You see, it's got like this curve and this arch and this crease to it.
Yeah.
Very indicative of paramecium.
Okay. You can kind of.
And then what's really cool is that you see these other microbes that will attach to themselves to these guys and just start sucking the life out of them.
Yeah,
you're welcome, bro.
Appreciate it, Joe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to get this small, bro. It's like what? It's mind blowing. I'm at 100 there.
It is mind blowing. Once it really, it's like I said, I love looking. As a kid, I used to have a telescope and looking at the stars, and this is like looking at the stars, but
yeah,
like a lot closer.
Yeah, I want to make. I got a lot of videos. I want to stitch together and kind of make a I don't know about ASMR. I just want to play it on my YouTube channel so that I can. Sometimes I'll just want it in the background. It's just peaceful to me, man. It's become it happened through rehabilitation, bro. And now it's like this peaceful thing that, with the right song, the right jam going on, you can just totally vibe on the scope for hours. The right flower, dude. You're done. I'm like
done.
I'll be like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like what? Well, hell, when we get together, a bunch of the regenerates that are actually here tonight, up to see the squad.
Yeah,
we'll go to like 2 o'clock my time, just on the scope,
I can't
celebrating this kind of life. No, yeah, well, hey, you hung pretty hard there, dude. You've been like,
I try, but I get up at 5 o'clock every morning. I'm just like,
yeah.
If I go to bed at midnight, I get 5 hours, 5.5. I'm usually pretty good. But I need 6. 6, I'm good.
Yeah, I need 5. I'll go 5. I'll be up early and going for it, getting out there composting. I was composting this morning and everything. I can't look at enough, dude. I always want to look at things. It's like,
I know it.
Let me take this in. Let me take this in. And
now it's summertime. You got to get out there in the morning. If you don't, you're gonna cook.
Yeah, by 11 o'clock, I got to come inside. But then I start fermenting. I start making biofertilizers, right?
Yeah.
And then start looking at those and what do these look like and what's happening here and what is the reaction here, and it's just stupid. It's truly an obsession. You got to do work, so you got to actually work and pay the bills. So it's like, okay, at least I do what I love. You know what I mean? I get to do this all day. I get to compost and.
How do we get back to us on the screen? What do I click to kick back?
That's gonna be the bottom there. That's gonna be the toothpick. That's gonna be not that one. Probably this one. Oh, this one. The third 1, 2, 3, or just you and I, right? That one.
I don't know.
Or if I
was trying to get that. Yeah, like that. Yep, that one.
All right, cool.
I'm trying to figure out how to do that myself. I couldn't figure it out.
It's that 1, 2, 3. The fourth little. It's the lit up square underneath the. Let's see. Oh, you can show vertical here. I didn't even know that. Anyway, we've been trying to figure out this program too. So
yeah, it's our first episode, so we're going to get better and better. And I wanted to say too that we're going to be doing, I'm going to be doing giveaways. We're going to be doing all the stuff that podcasts do. We're going to have, make it fun. We're not just going to sit here and stare at the microscope all the time.
Well, we're going to bring people in.
We're going to bring people in. We're going to have guests.
Should I throw it out there or what?
I hope so.
I mean, I've got Matt coming on, Matt Powers, which is going to be fucking
awesome.
Let everybody witness a taste of what it is to sit in one of his classes, bro. It's like
I feel like but I only watch his YouTube videos. I've never actually been in a class, so
Nah, dude, it's the way he scans through things and looks at things. It makes me realize, man, I can't wait till I get there one day. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I really can, and it excites me to know that the potential is love me some Matt Powers. You already know, man. His energy is insane. He's infectious, but when he looks at something, it's just his diagnoses are like bang, bang, bang. When I brought in that one Leighton Morrison compost, with that squidgy stuff,
yeah,
I brought it into class live, and he's like, "All right, don't give me any context. Don't give me any context." And he just started dinging it. Okay, it's aquatic because Leighton Morrison's all about aquatic soil.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, you can see the nematodes, but it was just the way he was calling out actinomyces. And it's just, man, when you do the work, it's on, bro. You're gonna get better and better. Best teacher I ever had, for sure. Shooting the soil, you'll catch him in there, you'll catch me in there, you'll catch soil guy, you'll catch a lot of the homies in here. And we're gonna we'll bring them in, let's get everybody, and let's do let's do soil samples forever. Like send the soil sample, maybe we'll do like a drawing or whatever. I'll run a free consultation, man, right here, live with everyone. Let's look at it. And I would say this, the biggest problem I have is that people get more intimidated than anything.
Yeah.
I've had literally been told that, and it's not about that, dude. It's about let's look at your soil and let's address it, right? And as we talk about it, and you're getting a consultation, and we bring in one of the other guys. I'm surrounded by brilliant people. I'm surrounded by people that are doing this all over the country, all over the world. What are they doing in Germany? What are the soil guys doing in North Carolina? What is Kennedy doing in Cali? What is Prestige doing in Canada? Let's get a vibe going and build this thing out where this knowledge becomes knowledge. Knowledge is power, and knowledge shouldn't cost like that, dude. You pay for people's time, but if we can rock it and share this stuff and look how much we've learned. Look how much I've learned from Josh reaching out and saying, "Hey, you want to look at my stuff?" I was like, "Hell yeah, I want to look at your stuff. I get to see what
Yeah.
this looks like now." I look at moving ponds now, and I have a very good idea of what that looks like.
Yeah.
I look at lakes all over Florida. I have a very strong idea on what that looks like.
And it's weird how it's similar all across probably the planet. You know what I mean? It's probably differences, but they're probably pretty much doing the same function. All over the world. Depending on what environment you're in, pond, terrestrial, desert, forest. All these things probably have their specific microbiome, but they're all pretty much doing the basic same thing. They're breaking down organic matter and releasing nutrients.
Sure. It's how's it being looked at, right? Like if I took a drop right now of effective microorganisms at their pH of 3.5, maybe you don't think about it until you see everything die instantly.
Right.
You know what it's like? Oh,
you see it. Yeah, and it's like they shut down. It's like, oh, I did something bad.
Yeah.
You never would have known that. You never would have known that if you didn't have the microscope.
Josh is in Virginia.
Yep, I'm in Virginia.
Is this silly lily? Absolutely. Hell yeah. And everybody in. Let's roll. Let's do it. Let's look at some soil. Let's look at, let's follow this system, that Josh's system, which is like so impressive. We start learning section 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? And like I was a little disappointed that I got the section wrong here. I thought it was a Monstera section, but I'm gonna write that off to it being tragedy.
Section 4 is the largest soil pocket connected to the creek.
Where's your Monstera at?
Section 1 is in Digger's terrestrial side. That's not connected to the creek at all.
Let's make Digger famous, dude. Digger is like a champ.
Yeah,
Digger is so cool. They're all cool, but Digger is just that little guy you keep showing. It's like,
yeah, he's got that face, man. He's got a face that mother can love. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Digger's cool, man. We gotta catch some of Digger's poop and look at it and see what's happening. That's another thing with a scope, guys. If you have animals, all jokes aside, I know we got a little bit of time left.
Yeah,
you can look at your cow manure, your horse manure, your animals manure. You could see parasites clearly. What part of Virginia are you in?
I'm just outside of Williamsburg.
Williamsburg.
Yeah, I'm in a tidewater area. I'm like sandwiched in between the Potomac. I mean the
mascot of the show. Hell yeah.
Pigami River. I live on a reservoir, so a fresh reservoir where I've got underwater streams that lead into this reservoir, and that's where I'm getting my
I dig it. Yeah, we've got chaos on the slide there, Georgie. Yeah, we've got it popping.
We got life.
Yeah, we've got chaotic stuff going on. So, yeah, man. I mean, hey, that's what's up. This is what we do. I mean, I could rock this all day long, and that's cool. We'll get creative with slides. I also get with Microbe Joe. This is another thing. We get students, like I'll jump in on a microscopy session with kids that go on a tour. And I'll tell you guys what, if anybody does that with kids, I will jump in that, no charge, to do the microscopy with your students. Hands down, period, flat out. I will make that happen. That is the future. We got to get these kids going, man. So
absolutely
keep that in mind. If there are any educators out there, if you know any educators out there, you go on a hike and you want to take these students out to harvest samples, get them to me and we will zoom them in. We'll keep that, little faces off of social media or however you want to handle it. But get these little brains understanding that there's something to be respected out here, and it's
I can't tell you this system that I built. The kids really love it. Like when the kids come over here, they don't even look at really the plants. It's straight to the turtle pond. It's straight to Digger. It's like, where's the creek flowing? That was kind of like another reason why we built the thing, is because I wanted, it's an attention getter for one, but once you get the attention, that's when you can really show people that, hey, you don't really need a lot. Everybody asks me, how much does this cost? It doesn't cost me anything. It paid for itself the first run.
Yeah.
Once it's built, it runs itself. And now I'm just a steward at this point. I'm just trying to keep things in order enough to where I don't crash the system. Don't do dumb things like be a moron or change the lights when you're not supposed to, or like play with the spectrum, because the spectrum of light, I've learned, that's one thing I've learned, that You cannot fuck with the spectrum in a system like this, especially in a water system where you're growing algae. That water really intensifies that light, almost like a magnifying glass. And when I
Well,
turned off the white light and turned on the red light, I just cooked everything.
but you had to cook everything to learn that. So I would also kind of double back and be like, let's do a gardens and glass lesson here. Put the shit in there. Let's see what happens, right? And 9 times out of 10, we're good. But every now and then you're going to cook something. And that's that lesson that you will always remember. It's like, we know what happened there. So let's chill out on these lights, bro. The power of these lights, man. You understand what that's working with.
Yeah, when I listened to Nick from Rooted Leaf, he opened my eye. Like it was an eye-opening moment when I heard him when he was on that show, and I was just like, wow. I was like, he made that point of like the power of the plant. How the plant is actually really running the show here.
That's why I asked him. That's why I asked him to come on, bro, because I was like, dude, I'm fumbling your shit all over the place, dude, and I'm trying to explain it, and it's an amazing thing.
If you get it to the basics, I can understand it if we stick to the basics. It's just when there's, when really smart people get into their tangent and go into their what they say rant or whatever, but
that's right.
It's a whole nother level, and if you're not on their level, you can get lost real fast. And that's why I want to start at the basement, and like we're in kindergarten right now, and we'll work our way to that. Hopefully, if you follow along with this over the next couple of years, 2, 3, 4, however long we go, well, that's where I want to get to. I want to go from the basement to the high rise. We want to get to that level where Matt Powers is at. And if we can get there, we can all do it together.
Yeah. And looking at everything on the way, I'm telling you, we're always looking at product. There's certain things we're looking at as far as structuring water. Let's try to debunk that shit. Let's look at it. I got a system right now that I'm going to end up sharing with everybody that supposedly starts moving energy. These are stakes that go in the ground, and we'll get into that. And I'll bring them on because I'm going to do a side-by-side grow on it. And there are reports that are used in Colombia that I've heard from them, but that it's working. And I'm like, okay, well, I've got these things, people, they're sending us stuff and we can look at it and say, legit, let's look at this, see how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's what we're
South Carolina. What up?
It should be fun.
Man, for sure.
But we're coming up on 2 hours now. So
I appreciate everybody coming, man. I'm glad to see that we got some heads interested in the microscopy thing, and let's just keep it a vibe, dude. I'm down. Just keep it understandable. It's
that's it. Yeah, keep it simple, stupid, right?
Yeah. Let's push it. My goal is for everyone to learn it and figure it out that they could do this and understand. At least when you're putting an input in, you have a very strong idea of what it looks like at a micro level.
Yeah, you don't have to buy a microscope. You can just basically send us what you want us to look at. We'll look at it, verify it, boom, you're good to go. I mean, you only have to do it once. You know what I mean? Usually especially a lot of these companies now, like you, like when you're making your stuff, you're going to put your stuff aside. We know your stuff is good, but you're buying it from a shelf from a store, like you're in a grocery store. You really don't know what you're buying. You don't have contact with those people, so you really don't know what's in that bottle. So that's why we're going to show you what's in that bottle.
I'll let you know. I had Matt back and forth, and I hit him up, and he was like, "I'll come in whenever." So that's gonna be pretty dope.
That's gonna be awesome. We're gonna get a lot.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Cool. I'm gonna name drop him. I already did, but Matt's the bomb, bro. I can't wait to have him on, and I can't wait to grow this thing out. So
yeah, me too, man. It's been fun. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Cool. I appreciate everybody showing up today and hanging out with us for sure.
Love it, man. Catch up with everyone next time.
Yep. Well, peace.
Peace.